I think at this point it is safe to say that Spurs are their own worst enemy. Everything was looking good in this game. They took the lead twice. They were actually playing well, and it looked like everything was going well for them. But somehow they were the ones who cost themselves the two goals that they conceded when they were in the lead. I just don't get it. Xavi Simons played an absolutely fantastic game today, and I think he was let down by his own teammates. It really sucks because this guy literally carried the team today. Spurs were much better in this game, and it looked like they had a chance. It looked like they were going to get their first 3 points of the year. And just some silly mistakes defensively cost Tottenham again. And they still find themselves in the relegation zone. They're not giving themselves any hope. If West Ham win, it gets even worse. If Forest win, it gets even worse. You are meant to pick up as many points as you can at this point to save yourself. And now they have 5 games to do it. And they have some really tough opponents that they're going to face at the end of this season. So when you have a chance to get the points, you cannot keep wasting them. You cannot keep wasting them. And honestly, like, I feel bad for Xavi Simons. I feel bad for De Zerbi. I feel bad for the Tottenham fans because this looked like the first sign of hope. Like, honestly speaking, I have to say that Spurs looked so much better today. There were really good signs of hope, but they still have those mistakes in them, and that is what is costing them this season. And I don't know. I just don't know at this point. If they can play like this again, there's a very high chance that they will stay in the league. But the problem is those mistakes. So I just want to talk in general about what I think about Tottenham, particularly for this game. You know, the game ended 2-2, Tottenham 2, Brighton 2. And first thing I have to say is that there are signs of hope. Tottenham fans, I know that it's looked really, really dire over the past few months. Like, things have not gone well. No Premier League win since December. It has not looked great. It has not looked great, excuse me. But what I do have to say is that in this game, I saw signs of hope. There was energy, there was effort. You could see that the players really were pushing to get it. They were running faster than they normally would. They looked like they were first to every ball. They just looked like they were ready to pounce on anything. And they looked really good in this game. They could have been 2 up. You know, unfortunately, Simons hit the bar after Pedro scored. But I do think that in general, like, they played really, really well compared to what we've seen for the most part over the past few months. It was a good display. You could just see that they had their tails up, and the crowd was also doing a very good job of encouraging them. So these are the good signs. Like, it shows that they do have it in them to stay up. Problem is keeping the game and making sure that they finish the results. So in general, like I said, they played really well. And the opener was such a fantastic goal. I do have to say that Xavi Simons, my goodness, like, I'm going to talk really well about him in this game because I do think he might be one of those people who, if Spurs stay up, you have to really say that he's going to be one of those players who's going to do it for them. But he made a fantastic cross to Pedro Porro, who scored. And, I mean, Verbruggen, I don't know what he was doing, but in general, I just feel like Verbruggen did not have his greatest game, and, you know, there were a lot of mistakes that could have cost Brighton, but, you know, just unfortunate for Tottenham in this sense. But I do think it was a fantastic cross, and Pedro Porro made a good run into the final third and a brilliant header. So, you know, the quality in the final third was looking good in that particular goal. And literally, like, minutes later, Xavi Simons had a chance where he was able to cut one of the defenders and put him to the ground. But unfortunately, his shot went and hit the post. And honestly speaking, from there, it looked like everything was going good for them. However, you can just see that Tottenham, their defensive worries are really, really starting to catch up with them. And I think that's been how it's been in general. I think they're failing to close the spaces between them and the players who are, you know, about to take shots or crosses. Like, they're giving them too much time to make decisions. In the last game, remember how that game ended? Mukiele shot, you know, it hit one of the defenders, and it was a wicked deflection that ended up going into their net, and that's how they lost the game. But if they covered the man quickly, if they were able to give him less space to take that shot, I think things would be a bit different. And that's what happened in this first goal that they conceded. Pascal Gross had so much space, and apparently he's had probably the most crosses since he came back to the Premier League. Like, amongst all the players, he's had the most crosses. So you know he's going to cross. Why are you not closing him down? To make matters even worse, the person he crossed to, Mitoma, had free space. Like, this guy had a plot of land to make a decision, and he ran in and made it. And you have to say it was a great finish as well. Like, fantastic finish from Mitoma. Like, I think this guy is a good player when he's fit and when he's able to do some certain things. You know, he didn't start the game and he didn't finish the game, unfortunately, but that really sucks for them. But I do have to say that in general, I just feel like Tottenham, their defensive worries, it's like the mentality is not there. It's like they're not concentrating. It's like they're not at their sharpest when it comes to defending and, wanting everything. You could see going forward that they wanted everything. They were really pushing for everything. But at the back, it's like they're not quick to make decisions. They're not quick to make tackles. And you have to be measured with your tackles, but at least close the spaces. Close the spaces. It does a lot, honestly. I do have to talk about Xavi Simons. Like I said, I said I was going to talk about him, and I do have to say that he was fantastic. I mean, he was the one who scored the second goal for Spurs, and I genuinely felt at that point like, oh my goodness, Spurs are actually going to stay up. Like, these are the signs. These are the little things that go your way that make you feel like, yes, we do have a chance. We're playing better and we're getting the luck is finally coming towards our own side, and luck is now in our favor as well. So I think that was a moment of magic. That goal was absolutely brilliant. And if not for the mistake at the end, you could also say that would have been one of the most legendary goals for Tottenham. Now, obviously, nobody was thinking about Tottenham fighting to stay in the Premier League, but when you're in a situation like this, these moments matter a lot. So I think it was just brilliant. And Bergvall came on, and immediately he came on, he won the ball from one of the Brighton defenders. I can't remember who it was exactly at this time. It was just really, really good, and they were just sharp. And that's what I've been saying about Tottenham today. They were a lot sharper than they would normally be, just not defensively, and that ultimately cost them today. But he was so sharp coming off the bench and making an immediate impact, getting the ball to Simons, who made an amazing cutback and a fantastic shot that hit the bar. There was no way Verbruggen was going to save that. There was no way on God's green earth. And you could just see that he was the warrior in this game. Like, he was struggling with cramps to his legs, and he was really struggling. Like, he was struggling to stay up after this goal. And unfortunately, Spurs had made all their 5 substitutions, so he couldn't go off. So you could just see that he had that mentality of a warrior who was still trying to make sure that he was able to do something and get the job done. And you could see the disappointment in his face when they conceded. Because this man created the first goal and he scored the second. He did everything for Spurs today in terms of getting them the goals. So when you see a mistake like that from Danso, like, I'm not sure what Danso was thinking. I really do not know what he was thinking at all. Like, that was just really, 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 really poor. Really poor defending from Danso. Like, I don't get it. It was Van Hecker. He had the ball. Danso had the ball. And for some reason, I don't know what he was thinking. It's almost like he felt like he had time. Why don't you just boot out the ball? Why don't you just boot out the ball? And because of that, Van Hecker was able to get a good cross into Jorginho Ruta, who also came off the bench. And Ruta made no mistake. It was a great finish from him. And ultimately, that's what cost Spurs today. Defensive issues, defensive lapses, lack of concentration at the back, lack of being assured at the back. And that's what cost them today. And it's just really unfortunate because they did the work. They did the work. And this was in the 95th minute. 3 minutes to go till the end of the game. It just shows that they are their own problems right now. They solve their problems and they create new ones. And that's the problem with Spurs right now. When things like this happen and you're struggling to get points, these little things matter a lot. There's something about football. Form is extremely important. This is a team that struggled to get a win. They've not gotten a single win this year. And you're in the 95th minute. You need to make sure you get the job done. But they were unable to do that, and that's where the problems are. Now they're hoping that West Ham don't win. They're hoping that Forest don't win. In fact, they're hoping that both teams lose because that at least would be a good point won from them. But I mean, like, I just don't know what to say about it. I think in this moment, you can just see that Spurs are the ones costing themselves. Now, overall, I do think it was a much better performance. Spurs need to take the positives from this game and learn from the negatives. Tottenham's next game is against Wolves. Now, this to me is the best opportunity for them. They're playing the team that's bottom of the league. This is the time to get things right. This is the time to get the result. If you can't beat Wolves, I don't know who you're going to beat. That's just it. I really don't know who you're going to beat if you're not going to beat Wolves, because they're going to play Aston Villa away, Leeds, who look like they might be safe now after they win today, then Chelsea, then Everton, and Everton are doing really well. So these, if you look at it, they're playing it's 5 more games, 2 games against teams that are in the bottom 10, and the other 3 are against teams that are in the top half of the table. So they need to find points from somewhere. That Wolves game is going to be extremely important for them. But you guys, what do you think about it? Do you think Tottenham can actually stay up? I think if they play the way they played today, without the defensive lapses, there is a chance for them to stay up. But, the problem is how they're making mistakes at the back, and that might be what cost them the Premier League stay this season. But let's see what happens for them. I do think that there might be hope, especially after today's performance, but these are the things that you need to have things working your way, and you need to make sure they are not costing yourself. It would have been different if it was a referee's decision that cost them this game, but when it's your own choice, like Danso, obviously, like, as much as I'm saying all of this, like, he must feel gutted. He must feel very disappointed in himself. So maybe, hopefully, they're able to pick their heads back up. I'm going to be honest with you. I want Spurs to stay up. I just have a soft spot for them. I don't know what it is, but I want them to stay up. But yeah, that's it for this video. Make sure you like the video if you got in this far and you actually enjoyed the content. Share with a friend who might like this kind of video, and subscribe, please. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. I mean, 500 first, but 600 would be nice. I really appreciate it if you watching right now could subscribe, and I'll see you guys in one of the next videos that you see somewhere on your screen right now. See you guys there. Cheers.